Head coach Michael Leone joins us now as they get set for the Monsters in Cleveland tonight. Michael, it's been a very consistent, I would say, year for your team. How would you describe just what you feel you've been able to accomplish as far as relationships with the players and ultimately, where you're at as a team with 28 games to go in the regular season?
Yeah, at first I'm a young coach. I'm 36 years old. You're always a little nervous going into pro hockey, but there was some things, I think that time where we got to play those NHL preseason games and we did well. Some of the new things were there was areas of our game, I think, away from the puck, that I wanted to implement, our tracking and reloading and things where I thought we could take away time and space in the D zone. And before we talked at the start of the year, we were playing really good hockey. I think we were really around 500 with a really young group. We were doing really good things. We probably weren't getting rewarded for the amount of chances, but the process was really good. And I thought we talk a lot about managing games, getting out of shifts in the D zone where you're caught out there 30, 40 seconds to make the guys understand we get out of shifts. These are what win you hockey games. And the guys have bought into winning hockey, especially if you look at our numbers in the third period. If we got a lead going into the third period, I think we're 23-1. And guys, there's crucial moments of the game. Understand that when it gets really hard, you got to dig in. And I respect our group a lot and I credit them for buying into the new things that we implemented and just when we're playing fast and we're playing fearless and we're using our skating and we're playing the game the right way, we could really lean on teams. And it's been like I said, the how consistent the team has been. I can count maybe 2 times the game in Charlotte, maybe the game in Wilkes where we weren't great. The compete wasn't there, but for 44 games of the year, our guys have given an unbelievable effort every single night. We're our play. I'm a big believer in your play away from the puck. We got skilled guys, so it was my mentality to tell the group, if we're good away from the puck and we can pressure with our skilled group, you're going to have the puck more. So it's kind of my way of getting them to buy into playing this way, and they've been a great job. And getting up for there's certain games in the schedule you got to get up for that are like this week. Cleveland gets 2 guys down from with the Four Nations break, and tonight's going to be a really fast, hard game, and we got to play a certain way. And the game plan going in, the guys have stuck to it, and I really appreciate the effort, especially like I said, like when the game's on the line and we got to really manage it and take care of the puck and get out of shifts in our line change detail, the things that it takes to win. The guys have done an unbelievable job buying into that.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about forwards this season because we've had Tyson Kozak, Yuri Kulik, we've had Zach Roseanne, we've had guys getting called up and play games and their impact. But my first question to you is more about the defense. The Sabres have 8 on their roster, so it hasn't really been opportunities to get called up. But I think of Sevi Komarov, Novikov, Ryan Johnson. I think people in Buffalo would want to know, where are they at and how is their season going individually? I know the team aspect of it, but individually, those 3, where have they been?
Yeah, they've been fantastic. Ryan Johnson arguably is probably our most consistent player all season. The way he could defend, kills time and space. He moves the puck quick when he's playing an efficient game. It'd be nice to see him score. He hasn't scored yet. He's probably got gazillion opportunities. Our empty nets, just he's done a great job. And if you look at Novi, I mean, he had a big summer. I didn't get to coach him. He's defending against speed really well. I think he's struggled before. I think he's plus 24, 25. Great on the penalty kill. He's hard to play against.
Yep.
He's done a great job for us. And then Comey has great offensive instincts. It's a huge jump from the Quebec Major Junior League to it's almost going up two levels to pro hockey. And he's done a great job. He provides secondary offense, and his game is really coming around.
So the one that's not connected, if you will, to the Sabres because he's on an AHL contract, doesn't have an NHL deal, is the quiet, consistent production of Zach Metza. What have you seen in him? I mean, until it flip-flops, but I mean, on any given night, he's leading the American Hockey League in assists.
No, he's been incredible. He's done a really good job on our power play. He gets us out of our zone quick. He has the ability to see plays developed. He provides offense from the blue line, when to pick his spots, when to get involved in the offense. He's been exceptional for us this year. And sometimes I don't really look at the numbers a lot, but he's top 3 in the AHL in scoring. But I really appreciate his effort too for defending for a smaller defenseman, killing plays with his feet and wanting to be first on the puck in the D zone. And he's done a great job for us. And our defending all year is probably been an identity pillar for us. And everybody committed 5-man units, and our D have done a great job. When you look at our forward group of, I think they know how skilled and fast we are. If they move the puck quick, sometimes you get second assist coming from your own zone, and they've done a really good job of that. And he's had an incredible season.
Okay. What about a guy like Levi who went to the All-Star game, and most people in Buffalo are hoping that he has an impact with the Buffalo Sabres, but where is his learning curve at now, the experience to be able to say, okay, I'm going to put the team on my back for this game. And the game adjustments that now he's made from, the start of season to now. Where do you see Devon Levi's game at that's going to continue to trend for success?
Yeah, Mark, that's interesting. You brought that up. Seamus and I have talked about his growth in his game, where things kind of get chaotic in the D zone or penalty kill situations, to get those get stops, get whistles where there's not that second, third opportunity at the net front of his game of calming the game down and when it gets hectic. And I thought his last game against Belleville, the things that Shamo's been working on him with, about those situations where it's maybe a shot from the point and you got to get a whistle so we can get a change, or on the penalty kill of putting a puck in the corner and not in the areas of those slot chances that you could give out to where. And I thought he's done a great job of that. He's working really hard, and then he's the guy in the net. Both goalies have been great, but like this week is a great example where he's probably going to get 3 out of the 4, and we're playing big time opponents. I think it's great for your development to try to get, 2, 3 wins in a week of those big time moments where you're playing a lot and you got to be really good. And last game was a great example. There was, a couple saves were up 2-0 in the penalty kill situations where he makes a save that allows the game not to get to 2-1. We keep the lead. We get a third one late, and he's been great for us. He's working really hard, and we're lucky to have him here.
So you mentioned Cleveland and them getting players back. You have Kozak back in the mix tonight, by the looks of it, and you have Hellenius on the wing. This is obviously a player that everybody's really interested in. What does this do? Let's focus on maybe Hellenius first. Why on the wing for a little run here lately?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for Helly, I think sometimes the responsibility is center, especially the way we want to play in pro hockey in the division that we play in, it gets overwhelming at times. The responsibility that he has away from the puck, and I think this we've been playing him a lot at center. He's going through a tough time, like any 18-year-old player in the AHL, with responsibility away from the puck. And I think it just freed him up a little more. Now, with him playing with Yabo, there's a lot of situations where Helly's taking the face off on the left side, whoever's first back in the D zone. And the way we play in the D zone, there's a lot of switches. Whoever the low forward is, there's a lot of reads that you have to make. But I think it just frees him up a little bit. I don't want to speak for the Buffalo guys, but kind of, when Tage moved over to the wing out of the center, it kind of freed him up a little bit to get his, shots on net. And I think that's a little bit with Helly of what we've done. And just the responsibility is a lot different from the winger than the center. We asked a lot of the centers, and it worked out last game where, he went to the wing, he scored his first goal in some time, and it's just every player is going to go through it, but I think it just kind of, like I said, frees them up a little bit to have more time and space and skate a little bit more on the wing up and down the sheet of how we want to play, and we'll eventually get them back in the middle. But it's also, you're running you look at the centers we have. It's we have Cozy Dunner in the lineup tonight, Noah. In Yabo, there's part of my job is also managing that of who we're playing with who. And now that, this is probably the first time all year where we have a completely full lineup of, there's some guys out of the lineup tonight that are having career years that have been probably our most important players, our depth players of what they've done for our team. I think we have close to 25 goals from our fourth line or fourth line, whatever you want to call it. So it's just managing that of playing guys with certain guys, but I think it's good for him, frees him up a little bit, and then every game's different, but we'll get him back in the middle at some time.
A lot has been talked about, like a lefty righty defense pair, and how that maybe is more efficient, but you mentioned the center position, and you talked about Tage Thompson going to the right wing. Well, Yuri Kulik is a left-handed shot in the middle of the ice, so when he has the puck, he's looking over to his right side, and there's Tage, and he's giving it to him, and then Tage enters the zone and has the shot. Do you consider that when you're maneuvering your lineup, like lefty, righty, center, who's playing on either side? Like, is that a big part of how you look at it?
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. We try to, when we talk about the lineup, to have someone that, can go get the puck. Someone's got to be, then you got your guy who could shoot the puck, and then you got a guy that's a cerebral guy. But in my perfect opinion, I'm probably old school in a way. I think it's really, really important to have the lefty-righty, especially on the back end, just exiting the zone and things like that. Sometimes you just don't with the hands you have, but I think it is. We have the ability, Rosie and Rusek, guys that could play both offsides and they're comfortable with it. And Rosie's played offside all year. Roos has played where they can make plays off of entries off of both sides. So it's a luxury to have. But I do think it's really important to have more the identity piece, like who's going to go get the puck, who's the brains, who's the shooter on the line. And that's kind of how we usually set up the lineup.
You get excited when Rusek shoots the puck?
Yeah. He doesn't shoot that often.
Oh, you should see it practice. I mean, we almost celebrate like it's a goal when he I mean, he's probably one of the most gifted passers I've been around. His vision and the way I wish he would shoot more, especially in the power play. It's almost like they give him like almost breakaways, but he just he makes these plays. It just manipulates, and I wish he shot more. There was one in Belleville where he had like a one-time top shelf, and we all looked at each other on the bench like that. It was almost like the goalie scored. Like we couldn't believe it. But he's been great.
I'm glad you said what you said, because it's actually indisputable. Since he's been an Amerk, he has been the best passer and creator that has been in the lineup the last number of years. The shooting is hilarious because the way you just described, there are many times where Don Stevens will catch himself in the moment like, oh, Rusek needs to shoot the puck there. So I love the fact that it's kind of obvious, but you clearly, and his line mates play off of him incredibly well.
Yeah, and we usually try to, like when he's playing with someone that could shoot the puck or score, he'll find it. But it's almost you would understand why he doesn't shoot. He almost has like a mini stick. It's up to like his stomach, and it's like it must be like 150 flex because he cuts it down so much. And we kind of know it's coming, but there's sometimes in the game where it's like a grade A and we're like, just shoot it, please. But no, he's been great, especially the play he made before we went into All-Star break, 6-on-5, drew guys to him. He just has a unique ability to see plays develop and, not just make plays, but put them in positions where our guy can execute.
We've been asking people on social media one word to describe the Four Nations face-off. So I'll ask you the same question, but I also ask you as a hockey fan and, a coach, are you going to be watching when you have a minute to be able to see what's happening in those, the first time in a while that we have best on best? It's not technically best on best because you're missing a lot of players, but at least the McDavid and the Matthews and the Dahlins and those guys playing in an international sort of tournament.
I think it's everybody has their opinion. I think it's awesome because I as a coach, you want to see the best on best, the high stakes environments where the game's probably going to be played at a level higher, almost like an NHL playoff game. And I just think it's awesome too to watch as a coach of how that game is played, how coaches manage certain guys, all the skill guys. There's a lot of things that you could pick up. And then obviously I'll probably get a lot of heat for it because I'm a U.S. kid, but I played for Coop and my loyalty is always to him. So I'll get a lot of stuff for that, but I'll be pulling for Team Canada.
Who do you think he's going to pick as a starting netminder? That's the big question in Canada today. Is it Adin Hill or Jordan Binnington? I don't think it's Montembeault, but who do you think he picks?
If I had to guess, I would say Binnington. I just think the Coop's a big gamer, and I think Binnington. Both guys have won, but I just would fall under the line of I think he would. I can't speak for him, but I think Binnington will be the guy.
Awesome.
What do you think?
Well, I would go with Adin Hill, but the more I talk to people this morning around, the practice setups and everything, they mostly think it's going to be Binnington. And really, I just did a power ranking of the 12 goalies, and I have Binnington 10th out of the 12. So I'm like, that may not be the right approach. Maybe Coop is going to text me later and say, thanks for that, Marty.
Yeah, and I look at I just want to see those guys like the depth guys of that team, like the Jarvises and the Hagels and the Rellies, those guys, like dog on a bone mentality. Like I like those guys, the Sam Bennett's, and it'll be a really interesting tournament to see, and I can't wait to watch.
Yeah, I have to admit, when I revisited Canada's roster yesterday, I almost said it doesn't matter who plays in goal. Like they're I really like the way their roster is constructed. Michael, good luck tonight and the rest of the week. Thank you so much for the time.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy vacation.